we talked about this last year, and you had one event that was scheduled last year, and it went so well that you have to do this twice. So kind of talk about how this has already grown into such a huge couple of events.
Yeah, so we've been doing this since about 2014. I think when we did our first parent night out. We started it here at the sheriff's office with about 40 people. And then we've just kind of grown because there's been such a need in it. I mean, the growth of our cyber world, as we see it, yesterday versus today, it's just grown so much. And so we feel like we have to keep up with it. And we feel like that it's we need to educate parents, we need to educate guardians, we need to educate teachers, anybody that's out there in this world with these children and supervising them in any manner or has any kind of uh, caring for them in any way. We just felt like it was our duty to get out there and try to help them learn how to keep up with all of the growth of the cyber world.
So talk about what some of the topics that are going to be discussed in both of these events.
Yep. So we're going to have our current applications. Gaming is huge, gaming and online. We're going to talk about some avoidance techniques that these kids use because they are way smarter than we are. And we're also going to do a live demonstration. During this demonstration, parents will actually get to see how quickly their children can be groomed in a matter of minutes.
Are parents, do you think, understanding this, or when you get parents that show up to this say, holy cow, I never thought this happens?
Yeah, I think parents don't really understand the gravity of what goes on behind the scenes. And when they come to a parent night out, their eyes, they're just wide open. They're just in awe of everything that they've seen, that they've learned. Especially whenever they're seeing firsthand how quickly their children can be groomed in a game of Fortnite.
I know we talked about this last year, and one of the interesting things that I think in this, children are not allowed. Talk about why that's the case.
We thought that the amount of information that we're giving parents, we don't want to feed into these young minds, because if they don't already know something, we don't want to give them more information. So this is for parents. We want to keep the parents a step ahead of these kids.
How do parents now, how do you get registered for this? There's one on the 21st at Bentonville West, and then January 28th at Springdale High School. What's the easiest way to get registered for this?
The easiest way is to go to our Sheriff's Office Facebook page. We have 2 links for both dates. They can sign up there. Each person individually does need to register. We do vet everybody that comes through these, because we want to make sure that we're giving the information to the right people and not in the wrong hands. People can still, if they do not pre-register, which is encouraged, they can still register at the door.
And you'll stay there until all the questions are answered, because I would imagine if a parent really doesn't understand this and they go through this, they've got a million questions to ask.
They do. They have a lot of questions. So at the end, we do open up to a Q&A. We'll answer as many questions as we possibly can answer. There's a lot of really good questions that parents come up with. Some of these things parents are living through in the moment, and some things that they've been through, and some things they're just curious about.
How much do you guys have to re-educate yourself of what's going on to pass it along to the parents themselves?
Yeah. So like I said earlier, like the cyber world, it's literally ever changing. So our cyber detectives and our teams are consistently learning what is new out there. Like I said, we want to be able to stay ahead of these kids. And so if we can do that, we can try to provide this information to the parents so that they can do the same thing.
All right, Lieutenant Jenkins, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.